Well, that cut off a bit quick, didn't it? Hello! Welcome to Friday's live stream. I see a few of you are online, so you're checking it out. Welcome. We're going to sit and chill for the next 2 hours and work on this 3D printed tower, which I'm working on it. I'm getting there with it. Slowly but surely, I'm getting there with it. So, hello, Laughing Boy. Good to see you. So, here's the thing, right? I don't know too much about this particular item. I know it was sent to us, and we've been experimenting on how to fill and smooth it off. Kinda, at one point, Warren just said, nah, just paint it. So, here we go. Yeah, so, we'll see how we get on with it. I don't do a lot of terrain painting, if you haven't noticed already. So I'm trying to remember all the terrain painting stuff I've learned before, and we'll just see how it goes, to be honest. So first up, inspiration for the color scheme, because it's a bit unusual, it's a bit bright. This is basically the stonework base coated. I'm not going to be adding any more colors to it per se. I'll bring the other part of it over. So a nice blue roof, and a little bit of a bone color in here on this sort of, I don't know what you call it, sort of plastery sort of stuff. And goes these. Oh, pardon me. So, I'm gonna drop my music a little bit so I can hear myself a bit better. Hello, Amanda. Is it morning still? It certainly feels like the morning. I've taken the inspiration from a few buildings in World of Warcraft. Particularly the Mage Tower in Stormwind. So if you Google search Mage Tower Stormwind, you see this gorgeous tall tower. The only difference is it really has more of a purple roof. And I was going to do that initially. Fair enough, Amanda. I was going to paint the roof purple initially, and Lloyd came in and said, nah, paint it blue, because even if you paint it blue, it'll still look slightly more realistic. Oh, we know we want it to be fantasy, but purple's a bit too far. And I was like, alright. So blue it is, and like I said, the stonework is base coated. Most of the other base coating work's done to the point where we can do other stuff to it before moving on to paint, like all the wood details and stuff, because there's a lot to go around here and stuff. So what I'm trying to do is a nice high fantasy, warm-ish looking thing, like a very imposing, important looking tower. So that's the plan. Whether or not that works is entirely another matter. And it would have been handy if I'd figured out what paint I was going to go for next. So once this is all base coated, the base coat is a grey primer, airbrushed lightly with, well, airbrushed kind of heavily actually, really, with a colour I literally had in my hands a minute ago. Welcome to Friday live streams where John can't find anything. It's the Find Stuff live stream. There it is. It's right over there. So the color I used on through the airbrush is Gorgon Hide. It's kind of like a bluish off-white. It's kind of a nice color. And to try and follow up with the whole Stormwind World of Warcraft side of things, most of the stonework's going to be that color, but with a bit more white chucked in on the banding and around the balcony and stuff like that, just to brighten it up a little bit, make it look a bit more imposing. So, we need to figure out a dry brush color for the stonework. And I'm thinking probably a Brain Matter Beige just to start to warm it up a little bit. Which means I need to go find some. Because John doesn't prepare for these things. So, I need a Brain Matter Beige that isn't empty for a start, that would be good. Or what about a Drake to it? No. So, this seems to be the only bottle I have, so use whatever's in it first, and then we'll go find another one. Move my coffee out of the way. Right, so we're going to go a Brain Matter Beige for a dry brush over all the stonework, and then we'll go in with a white dry brush and do all the banding and all this stuff. Then we have to paint in the little bit of roof that's there. After the dry brush is done, then we can actually dry brush the actual roof, or the rest of the roof. And I'm actually thinking of going and actually using a terrain brush, a nice big brush for this. And what this is hopefully going to do is give me a little bit of a warmer sort of colour to it. Let's just see what happens. I think that's what these Friday live streams are all about. Let's see what happens. That's alright. It's maybe not as warm as I'd anticipated, but that's okay. We can probably put a wash on this to warm it up a bit more if we want. So, how is everybody in the chat today? Have you guys been up to anything interesting? And congrats to Amanda again for being in our community spotlight this week, which is great. Doing some fantastic work out there. My hand's already sore from this. Clearly I need more exercise on my left arm. Core space is great. That whole terrain system that they have is friggin' amazing. I hope it was nothing serious, Manda. I've spent enough hours in a hospital to know that I don't enjoy it. Yeah, but Laughing Boy, isn't that the whole point of Dark Souls? At least the first one. Alright, well, best of luck, Manda. Are you heading to Salute Laughing Boy, or are you just going to be checking out the live blog? Nice, you'll be there. Cool. I've only been to Salute once. That was what, 2014? Or 2013? Was it 2013 or 2014? I don't recall. I think it was 2014. Oh, well, lucky for you then, yeah. That's only 30 minutes away, that's great. That means you live close enough to London to really hate everything about prices. Starting to wonder if I shouldn't just practically overbrush the banding with this color instead of a white. It'd still look kind of good. boy. I'm noticing with the 3D print that hasn't been cleaned that much, the dry brushing just accentuates all the print lines. Ugh, bugger. Oh well. Could be worse. Hello, Lozzie. Glad you could come on board and watch me try and paint a building today. And where are the tanks? Do I even have a tank within arm's reach today? Oh, of course I do. Ah, of course I have a tank within arm's reach. This is a little project I'm working on for the Battlefront Open Day in June. Planning on entering the painting competition. See how we get on with that. Of course I have a tank within arm's reach, it's ridiculous. I think everyone that knew me well there was having a little bit of a panic attack. Yeah, we're safe. Nothing bad can happen while John has a tank within arm's reach. There will be no breakdowns today. I can just hug a tank if I'm feeling a bit stressed, right? You always have a pink tank within arm's reach. I know! That Sherman is friggin' fantastic. In fact, Manda, could you link it into the chat for Lozzie to check out? I think she'd appreciate it too. If that you still have it as a project or a forum post, I can't remember. Oh, it's a project, wasn't it? And yes, Lozzie also has a Pink Panther. The bolt action scale one. Right, is that all the dry brushing I want to do with this colour? Probably not. I like how committal that was, you know, probably not. There's a brush that I've used for pigment powder or something or other because there's a lot of dust coming off of it. Thank you, Manda. So let's see about adding a stronger sort of overbrush to this part of the building. Let's see what that does for us. I think that's gonna look alright. Sherman goals. I know, it looks fantastic, doesn't it? And that's only a Flames of War miniature. It's tiny. It's a tiny, tiny tank. Yeah, I think that band of brighter color helps warm it up a bit. Takes away from all the coldness of this grey and stuff, so... Yeah, I think we're just gonna stick with that. Go a bit heavier in places. Probably around this balcony too. I don't think this brush is the best brush for this job, but it'll be fine. I'll probably just overbrush the outside of it and leave the inside looking a little colder, just, you know, because there's going to be a roof up here. It's going to accentuate the shadow, perhaps. I mean, I guess that's how it works. Also need to try and figure out how I'm going to shade the stonework and stuff like that. I'm running through several things in my head and I'm wondering what's going to work, so we'll get to that stage in a moment.
I wonder what you got, you rascal, you. I wonder what you got, you rascal, you. I wonder what you got, makes my wife think you so hot. And I wonder what you got, you rascal, you.
Oh no. See if there's a flamingo in amongst this, Lozzie. I swear I'm gonna scream. How long have I been on? About 18 minutes or so? 19 minutes. Don't worry, you haven't missed too much. Oh good, that means there isn't a flamingo. No! Don't send me flamingos! They're the bane of my existence now. I used to think flamingos were okay until I got friggin' spammed with them for like 2-3 weeks. Right, I think that will do for that. There is another balcony on the roof section though, so we'll just do it, and it doesn't have a roof on it, so I'm going to have to be a bit more. Well, to be fair, Lozzie, like I am getting Thousand Suns. Thousand Suns are alright. I would actually paint a Thousand Suns force. Not a full army, maybe just a detachment for a larger Chaos force. The gold isn't that bad to do though. Like, are you what color are you using for your gold? Like, what brand of paint? Retributor? Retributor's usually a good color to put down. It usually goes down in one coat if you're being a bit heavier with it. I know there's a lot of it on Thousand Suns, but still. So then it also depends how many models you're painting. Yeah, the Thousand Suns have a gorgeous aesthetic. They look amazing with all that blue and gold. And yellow too. Shall we see what pink delights Lozzie has sent? There are 4 images. Oh yes. So, Manda, if you're interested, that's Lozzie's Pink Panther. And Lozzie's Drop Fleet, which is a luminous pink, and the pink Zaku. So that's what Lozzie does. God, I am proud of her though. Right, that's enough of that. Let's look at shading this somehow. I'm wondering if any of our old weathering sprays would do the trick. Mud brown might just ruin it. Let's right. So this is Model Mates. You can't get this anymore. But I'm going to try just a little bit around the bottom of the tower first. So I'm going to more or less spray onto the table and let the overspray carry up onto it. And what this stuff is, if you've never heard of it before, is water-soluble dye in an aerosol. For a long time it was our go-to sort of weathering fluid. What I do now, that I've sprayed it a little bit, just enough to dirty it, is I take a brush and I dampen it in some water, and then we can move the dye around a little bit. So we can carry it further up the wall, or we can just get it to seep into the crevices. It's C Drive Common, C Drive Games Steam Common, I think. Steam games common. C drive games, Steam games common. Yep. So hopefully you can see what the dye is doing. Is it's just adding a little bit of dirt to the bottom of the tower. That way, when it's sat on a piece of terrain or sat on a game mat, for example, it's not going to be just very clean, very clean, very clean, stop matte. It's going to have a little bit of weathering at the bottom to help it blend in a little bit. And now I'm thinking that we should maybe just do all of this with it, which could be interesting. What other colours do I have? Oil brown, no. Rusty red, nope. Sand brown might do the trick. So let's see what happens when we put a bit of sand brown. Let's try it on the steps. I know that looks terrible, but hopefully when we start to move it around, yo, screw it, I'm just going to do the whole model with this. Yeah, so it's like a residue, a build-up of just grime. So I'm just going to spray it here and there. I'm going to mostly focus on the stonework rather than around the balcony too much. Right. So once that's done, again, we dip our brush into some water. The building, I have no idea what it's for. I was just asked to, well, Warren insisted that we tried some terrain painting on the stream, so he handed me this and said, hey, let's paint that. And I was like, yeah, alright. What this will also let me do is, if it's worked out well, I can probably give the stonework another dry brush, but maybe pick an actual white this time, because this, being a yellow colour, is sort of warming the whole stonework up a bit. So if it warms it up enough, we could just go with a white dry brush as a final highlight layer. That's the optimist in me talking, of course. Okay, Lozzie. No, this Dave, this one is actually one that was sent in to us. We are actually going through a whole rake of 3D printing stuff at the moment. More on that will come out in the next couple of weeks or so. We're still getting used to our hardware and our software, so but there will be 3D printing content coming up. I think it's actually starting to look alright. What's nice about this spray dye is it doesn't mind being worked up into a bit of a froth, because the bubbles soon dissipate and it all settles down again rather nicely. Yeah, the picking out colors of stone like that really gives it a very traditional look as well as kind of a high fantasy look. And I think it's the only way to make a stone wall look like a stone wall. I mean, you're not going to have, well, you are going to have people that build stone walls out of the exact same stone because it's either the only thing that's locally available or because they just want that uniformity to it. So, but I like that a sort of a high fantasy setting allows you to just go, they just found whatever was lying around. Or maybe brought some special stones in from somewhere just because they're a special stone. Right. I think that's starting to look pretty decent. I like how the dirt is worked on the steps. I think that's worked really well. So what I'm going to do now, guys, is I'm going to mute my mic and I'm going to hit this with a hairdryer for a while to get it all settled down. So, one moment. Okay, so that dried a lot quicker than I anticipated. It's doing alright, it's not doing the best. You know, it looks better in places than it does others, but I'm not too bothered by that, to be honest. I think that looks okay. So let's yeah, let's move that to the side for now, and let's work on the roof a little bit. So the roof's interesting because it's friggin' blue. And what I want to do is, yeah, I'm either going to give it a wash first or I'm going to give it a dry brush first. I think I'll give it a dry brush first. So it started off with, this is Army Painter Deep Blue put through an airbrush onto this. I'm then going to dry brush it with a bit of Crystal Blue. Once the dry brush is done, I'm going to give it a wash with some Secret Weapon Sapphire, which is a very deep, rich blue. And then I think we'll highlight it a second time with something, either the Crystal Blue again or something a bit brighter. To make sure this big brush is dry before you do a dry brush with it. So let's see what a Crystal Blue dry brush will do to this roof. Again, really looking for that sort of high fantasy appeal, so I think the brighter this can be, the better. I mean, that's not bad. Go a bit heavier. Yeah, that's kind of cool. I'd almost be tempted not to wash that at all. Opinions in the chat, please. Do we wash the roof or not? This is a 3D printed tower that was sent in to us. I believe someone else in the chat actually has one of these ready to print as well, so... Yeah, you would with the bluish wash, yeah. But maybe not something as deep as a Secret Weapon Sapphire. It might be too dark, perhaps. Same with the Army Painter Blue, it would be a little dark. Then again, we can just dry brush it again, Manda. Wolf Grey would be kind of good actually as a highlight. So yeah, I'm actually kind of tempted not to wash it at all and just leave it looking quite as it is, I guess. It's hard for me to describe. I don't have the words to describe it. So yeah, maybe a Wolf Grey as a final, like, really light dry brush over the top of it. It is giving it a bit of a sheen to it, isn't it? Has a slight sheeny sheen to it. So yeah, we'll just go heavy with this, and then we'll do a second one of a Wolf Grey, and just do that a lot lighter, and then we'll get the edges of all the slates and stuff a bit more nicely defined.
In the land of dreamy scenes, there's a garden of Eden, you know that's what I mean. Creole babies with flashing eyes, softly whisper with tender sighs. Stop it, I want to give your lady fair a little smile. Stop it, you bet your life you'll linger there a little while.
They got angels right here on earth.
Wearing little blue jeans, way down under in New Orleans. That's what I mean. That's what I mean. That's what I mean.
All this dry brushing, like seriously, repetitive strain injury incoming. I hope so, Ogre. I think on a nice high fantasy table with a few ruins and stuff maybe, and then this thing sort of in the middle of a town or a village, I think it would look very, very standy out, very poppy. Alright, so that's the first dry brush on that bit of the roof. I now need to take one of our little bits. I really do wonder when Electro Swing became Flat Eric. Oh well. Also can't remember that I need to base coat the other little bit of roof on the main part of the tower. Which I'm going to get round to doing just about now, so. Get this bit, and you see all this here, we need to just paint that in real quick. I'm going to move the camera up a bit. There we go. It's not going to fall on me today, thankfully.
Way down yonder in New Orleans.
Way down yonder in New Orleans, way down in the land of dreamy scenes. There's a garden of Eden, you know that's what I mean. Real babies with flashing eyes.
I'll have that ready to go again in a minute. Nope, too thin. Welcome back, Lozzie. I actually really want a couple of World of Warcraft figures for this. Excellent, Lozzie. Well, it was a really good piece of art, so I think it turned out really well. You're improving every time you do a piece. There's not enough coffee left in that cup. Right, while that's drying, let's try the wolf grey on the rest of the roof and see what we think. If we don't like it, we can add a wash. If we do like it, then we're golden. We can keep going. This is all assuming that there is a wolf grey here. Yes, there is. Do you really think a wolf grey would be the best thing to go with? Do you know what? I'm just gonna try it. Yeah, funny. It's great how the creative juices can fire up at random times of the night. I find that as well. Once I get into the rhythm of something, it could be like 3, 4 a.m. before I decide that I'm actually tired. And usually half the time I'm just forcing myself to go to bed. Alright, let's see what Wolf Grey does then. So we're going to go with a bit of a lighter dry brush this time around. So we can try it on this piece first. Let's see what we think. Do you want to see what? Yeah, I see what the idea is here. But for me, that's hard to tell. Like, I know it's there, and I'm not sure if the camera's picking it up that well. Oh yeah, it is. Yeah, you can see the difference. That's actually pretty cool. In contrast, you know, that's really good. Right, let's go for it then. So just keeping it light. Keep it light and keep the strokes in one direction. So very good suggestion there, Dave. Good call. And Lozzie, if you were wondering, this is why I was sat in Discord asking everybody for pictures of the Mage Tower in Stormwind. It's like, color reference time. Not the blue roof, of course, just the rest of it. I was going to paint purple roof first, as I explained at the start of the stream, and then Lloyd told me no, you're not allowed to paint a purple roof. I think this is very similar to the color of the roofs in Stormwind anyway. Yeah, this is a trade district. What's really surprising about this is when you look at it on camera, the print lines aren't that apparent, which makes it actually look really good. I'm digging that. Like that a lot. From Persona. Wouldn't know, never played a Persona game, Lozzie. But then you have, haven't you? You've played like practically everything. Oh, is it the piano that's doing it for you? When I'm painting a figure, do I do all the base color first? Ooh, interesting. I would, Alright, here's an example, okay? So I'm painting some Shadespire because everyone else in the office is playing it. If you haven't seen the vlogs, I'm working on some Shadespire stuff. And in this case, with these little guys, I'm focusing on doing the armor first and then moving on, because the armor needs its own individual washes and stuff like that, and it's also the deepest detail, so I start in the bottom and work my way up. But a lot of cases, like my Space Marine armies, my Stone Templars in particular, I just base coated the whole thing because it was getting an army painter dip. I then dipped it once all the base colors were down, and then after the dip was dry, matte varnish and then highlight everything. So because this is only 3 miniatures, I can focus a bit more on my technique. I can focus a bit more on getting certain details tidier. But if I'm doing an army, then it's going to be how do I make it effective and how do I make it easy as possible. So for example, yes, all the base coating, then the washes, then the highlights. Whereas in this case, it's turning out to be do the armor, do the trim, do the details, do the leather, do the burb. You know, it's going to be each of those stages will be taken to completion before moving on to the next one. Simply because this is a low model count, this is 3 miniatures. So that's the idea. For example, another example, the tiger that I'm working on for the Battlefront Open Day, everything so far has been focused on the camouflage and getting the markings and stuff down. So basically the hull and the turret and the wheels are the focus of it right now, and then moving on after that to base colouring the likes of the tracks, and then we'll work on the tools, Pioneer tools, tow cables, crew, that sort of stuff. It's really, I find low model count stuff is easier to just do every aspect of it separately, whereas armies I would do all the base colours and then work on it from there. Right, I am going to hit my halftime break. What I'm actually, well no I can't because that's not dry yet. I was going to matte coat everything before moving on, but I don't think I need to do that. I'm not going to worry too much about it. So we're going to be back in about 5 minutes. When we come back, we will be able to push on with the roofing. Hopefully the other blue will be dry. And yeah, see you in a few minutes. I shall go make some tea. back. Scenes, you haven't missed too much apart from a bit of dry brushing and weathering. Congo, hi dude, how are you doing? And Scenes, it was good to actually have you in the shop. Was it last week? Last week? Last week? Saturday. Saturday. It was Saturday, right? Righto. Phileas was not at the booth. Nah. Thank you, Lozzie. Right, so this blue has not yet dried on this bit. So I'm going to mute very quickly and I'm just going to hair dry it. Okay. Do you know what? That's a shame that the the US Battlefront guys didn't know. That's a shame. Missed out on such good humor there. Right, we're going to dry brush this up, so we need our crystal blue first, which I still have, which is not completely dry yet. Just a little bit there. Afternoon, Rob. Alright. Quickly wash this brush and then do the same with the wolf grey. Only lighter, of course. The Oil War book is incredible. Absolutely love it. Alright, let's get the wolf grey down. That's enough for the blue. That should be the roofing done, more or less. Which means if I put the top on, whichever way around it's meant to sit, that way by the looks of it. Oh no, I missed it! Damn it! Right, okay. Yeah, we'll not get away with not painting that. That's a shame. Because that looks kind of sweet. Alright, gonna have to paint that. We'll just paint this whole bit here because there seems to be a bit of a gap there where the way the tower's been built or the way it's been printed. There's a bit of a gap. Hey Robert! It's good to see the timer on the post is working in its usual rubbish way and telling you all that it was still another hour and 40. I noticed that just before I went live, it was saying live in an hour and 40, and I was like, excuse me? Hope you're all looking forward to the salute coverage tomorrow with Justin and the gang. Justin's under orders to find something suitably mechy for me to paint, or perhaps some Oathsworn. In fact, I'll maybe make next week's stream something Burrows and Badgers, just to make Ben happy. Because I like making Ben happy. He's a nice guy. It displayed correctly, yeah. Yep, so that'll work alright. Kind of annoyed that there's that gap there, but not much we can really do about that. It's just the way the print has turned out. Overall though, if I can get the camera out into an angle you can see most of the tower, and see the tunnel of endless cameras, I think that's starting to look pretty decent. Yeah, that's looking pretty decent. Liking it. Right, where do we want to go next? We could start painting the wood details, but I think the wood details are going to take an absolute age to do. And I don't want to bore you guys for the next hour with just painting brown for the next, you know, for the rest of the stream. Any suggestions? Anyone want to see anything done here other than the woodwork? Because it will take ages. Oh, I haven't. Right, hang on. I'm gonna get my phone and look for Funko Pop Abrams. This is disappointing. I'm not seeing any tanks in this image search yet. I'm seeing Funko Pops for J.J. Abrams. That guy that occasionally makes movies. No leopard print, thanks, Rob. Different stream, different times, man. I think I found the one you mean. I'm not sure. When you say Funko Pop Abrams, I've kind of got oh, come on, images. BAE Griffin. Because this is what I've got. To me, that's a Funko Pop Abrams. Yes, that, yeah. Funko Pop Abrams, yeah. It's kind of funny looking. It's kind of silly looking. Right. Let's paint in the tops of the roof here, like these little bits of the roof. So, what do we think, silver or brass? I think for this, probably silver. But maybe the tops here, maybe in a gold? Because I think this is like a gunmetal. It looks like it wants to be a gunmetal. I need a gunmetal. Need a gunmetal paint. That is not gunmetal. That, however, is. Well, if I was to do, technically if I was to paint it copper, it would just be green. Almost at the point where I'm going to dip my brush into my tea. Just not forget this little ring. Okay, so we can give that a black wash later on, or a dark tone wash. The music that's playing is a mix of electro swing. That's what we're listening to today. Right, let's pick a brass then for the little toppers. So this one, and then the one over here, and the one in this little bit. Right. So we'll start it with a weapon bronze, which is this. And then when we come to highlight it, we'll actually pick a proper sort of bright goldy sort of color to put on it.
Mama was a stripper, so was Geraldine. She learned a strip on Mardi Gras way down in New Orleans. Now Romeo was wacky, he was dizzy for this dame. He learned to dance and got the chance to be Geraldine's new flame. Wave those paws in the air, spin around like Fred Astaire. Slip me five if we can jive. That's Geraldine's routine. Lift those puppies off the ground, swing those hips, shake them down. It's red, it's snazzy jazz.
Yeah, Salute is a very different animal to a lot of other shows.
Here she comes, ladies and gentlemen. Here comes Geraldine.
If you walk into it more as thinking, right, this is a trade show, then yes, you've basically hit it on the money.
Wave those paws in the air, spin around like Fred Astaire. Slip me five if we can jive. That's Geraldine's routine. Lift those puppies off the ground, swing those hips and shake 'em down. It's snazzy jazz. It's Geraldine's routine. Wave those paws in the air, spin around like Fred Astaire. Slip me five if we can jive. That's Geraldine's routine. Lift those puppies off the ground, swing those hips and shake 'em down. Let's hope
Do you know what I was actually going to say? Think of it as an arms fair for the wargaming industry. I wasn't sure that would fit that well, and it would be a horrible joke. Also just noticed the little mini roof things have something I could paint in brass too. Bronze even. Yeah, screw it, we'll do that. Make it look like a little end cap for the slates. Plus it adds another colour onto the roof, which is always helps with the charm of the building. When I come to the door and stuff, I think that'll go in brass too, but the rest of it should probably just stay wood. Alright, that'll do. White window lattice? You think so? Well, I suppose yeah, they would probably stand out really well if they were white, wouldn't they? Well, I guess we're just going to start on the woodwork then. I don't really see many other places we can go right now on it. Let's move that up there out of the way. So, wood. Or woodwork. Right, what colour do we want to go with here? I think we want a nice... Let's see what sort of colours we have. Monster Brown might be kind of good with a wash on it. Yeah, maybe a strong tone wash over Monster Brown. Nah, need to go a bit darker than that. I think leather brown with a strong tone wash ought to do the trick. So we'll be going with this for all the wood. Maybe do a darker wood for the door there. Might be a good idea. I'll have to paint in a wee bit of stonework over the door as well, but that's alright. See, I don't know what Jerry was talking about. No one tells me anything in here. Oh, the Vallejo wood set, yeah, we have that, but eh.
forest full of blossom breeze. Deep in hell's tasty smell. How many stories does it tell? Hey, my little honeybee, honeybee, you are a ray that's hurting me. Hurting me, I miss you, darling, far away.
Hello, Sundancer.
Summer day.
Today's painting subject has been brought to you by recommendation of Warren. So, we're painting a 3D printed building. Which I'm still enjoying. I mean, it's not a tank, but I'm still enjoying it.
Je me trouve en plein hiver, de l'autre côté de la terre. J'ai trop froid sans ta chaleur, j'en ai besoin pour mon bonheur. En pleurant, je compte les jours comme tu me manques, mon amour. Bientôt on fera des voyages dans le ciel sur les nuages.
Hey, my little honeybee, honeybee, you are a ray that's hurting me. Hurting me, I miss you, darling, far away.
Do you know what? This electro swing, it's nice, but it doesn't have the energy that I really need. So I'm going to switch music out. Theme music. We are going to change it. I'm going to change it to the more upbeat version of music I have. There we go. Mortal Engines, that would be kind of cool, wouldn't it? Oh no, I think we've just given Warren an idea. Actually, never mind. I have that idea now too. I want to build a Mortal Engine, 28mm scale.
Brother, what you thinking? Leave that on record spinning.
I even know some of the 3D print kits I would ask Warren to get to actually do it.
Ain't got time to lay low. Your knees are bending, so it's time to get up and let go. Hey, how's it going? Can see your body moving. Don't leave the party time. Keep booty shaking, you know your head has no right to say no. Tonight it's ready, set, go. Baby, can you move around the rhythm so we can get with and jump around and get us a rock and roll round? Let's down, down, body, body, coming with the super hottie, let's go. So hello, baby, can you move around the rhythm? Cause you know we're living in the fast lane, speed up, it ain't no game. Just turn up all the beams when I come up on the scene.
Yeah, the Mortal Engine could just be the table. But then would you bother building the tracks and stuff for it?
Hey, brother, what you thinking?
I'd actually like to build like a small one out of a few buildings. It's like, you know, it's just getting started in life. Or it's just a village. You know, a 4x4 table, for example, made on a 4x4 gaming table on a 6x4 table, but the 4x4 is the Mortal Engine.
Baby, can you move around the rhythm so we can get with and jump around and get us a rock and roll round? Let's down, down, body, body, coming with the super hottie, let's go. So hello, baby, can you move around the rhythm? Cause you know we're living in the fast lane, speed up, it ain't no game. Just turn up all the beams when I come up on the scene.
Joe, it would be something I'd like to try now. I have a couple of things I want to 3D print as well too, but I think a Mortal Engine style table would be friggin' cool. You could play so many like post-apocalyptic games on it, it'd be great. Like everybody that's turned up late so far has been like, why is it not a tank? Why is there no airbrush? What is he doing? Is this really John? What reality are we in? Oh no. It's a building! I'm painting a building! Although I'm nearly done, so... Yeah, you've given me the idea to turn it into a tank. We can tankify anything on this in this place. Give me enough track and armor and I will do anything. As Rob says, it's not 40k, so yeah, he's happy. Put a turret on it. Yeah. Everyone's like, John just should not be painting this. Leave this to Mel, the terrain tutor. Nice, Tuffy. How are you finding it? How are you finding painting it, Tuffy? Really? It's nice to see everyone's in such a good mood on this Friday afternoon. I really did ask for that answer though, Tuffy, to be honest. I really did ask for it. Left wide open. You gonna go and spend a load of money, Rob? Tuffy, that could be taken in very, very bad ways. And if Warren was here, it would be taken in all those ways. Apparently I need more brown paint. Eesh, that is a heck of a lot of money. Yeah, this is the roof of a tower that we're painting, Tuffy. Just 1 second, I'll put the rest of it together and show you. We're almost at the end of the stream anyway, so whatever I get done now is basically what I get done on it today, so. That's the slot for it there, so. Okay, from this angle it actually looks pretty decent, so let me draw the camera back a bit. So, I can barely get the camera back far enough, but that's what we're painting. All 3D printed, and yeah, it's kind of cool, right? And then again, you can see the tunnel of infinite live streams. So, yeah, that's what we're working on. That's the upper level of it that I'm putting the wood on. So, pretty cool. Right, get the camera back into position. Get the roof back off. Cool with added stream inception? Yes. Johnception? Tankception? I do love me some time tunnel. I will be tidying up all the bone coloured stuff in the middle, because I am noticing that my hand's getting a bit shaky with the amount of caffeine I had before the Tuffy. Really? I mean, you're not wrong, but really. Yeah, just have more caffeine to balance it out. I'll eventually, like, shake and vibrate so much that I'll just resonate with everything around me, and it'll settle down. Get to the other side of Super. So Tuffy, are you all hyped then to get a bit of time off? Or as a teacher though, do you ever have time off? Because it always seems to me that, yeah, the teachers have the same length of holidays more or less as the students, but you have a lot of prep work to do in between times, surely. Ah. So what you're actually doing, Tuffy, right? What you're actually doing is like hiding in the cleaner store, just like not doing anything and just hoping nobody makes a mess of it. Okay, I am going to give it a rest at that for this week. I will probably work on this a little bit more off screen and just see how we get on with it. So I'm gonna pull the camera right back, get our stream tunnel going again. So overall, not bad. We just need to finish it off. I am liking the contrast between all this stuff up here and all the stonework. The stonework's actually starting to look really good in comparison when you see them together. But anyway, thank you all so much for tuning in this week again and chilling out with me over the last 2 hours. As always, I think this stream will be going up at a later point. Oh, look at me wave my hand in like several screens at once. It's great. So yes, thanks very much, guys. Have a great weekend, everybody. Those of you going to Salute, good luck. And don't spend too much money. So guys, take care of yourselves, and I will see you next week on Wednesday for Hobby Hangout, and again on Friday, where I think maybe we'll bring in some burrows and badgers perhaps next Friday. Anyway, take care, everybody. Bye-bye.